paraphrasing. So referencing is a general requirement for all bachelor degree study. No matter you are doing, um, your project or coursework over the year, you will need to provide full referencing. So the importance of referencing is to give information to the readers about what kind of references you are based on. And also it gives you a backup for your information because if you have a full reference material, you can always go back to the same track by the information and then find the same material. All referencing must be in Harvard referencing style. So what is a Harvard referencing style and what is we expect you to do? All bachelor degree will require a suitable referencing style. Usually, by having that referencing style, you can avoid plagiarism. You acknowledge where do you copy or where do you get an idea, and it also shows you how good are your references. So it will help support your academic argument, and it's a requirement. So in Coventry Library, here is a full reference guide, which you can look up following the hyperlink below. It lists out all possible types of reference and the styles that you use in formulating the reference. So what are good references for a research project? Here are different types of projects, especially electronic database, journals, and books are a lot of time used by our study. Personal websites, and I might mention Wikipedia is not resource. Those are usually not resource appearing on your reference list. Okay, so what Harvard referencing style looks like? Usually Harvard referencing style will have certain elements depending on the type of references. So the first thing usually must have is the name of the author or authors. Usually academic articles, especially for those good quality journals, they are collaborations of different authors. So seldom are they working alone on a single author. And the year of publications a lot of time are common to all different types of reference. And depending on type, if it's journals, you have title of the journals, publication name, the article name, volume, issue, and range of pages. Those are the informations that you usually, if you do a POCUS library search, you will easily get those informations in the abstract or in the header of the web page. For books, just like library catalog, if you search VDC library catalog, this information, of course, the title of the book, the edition, the publisher's name, place of publications will all list clearly on the library catalog. Website is more tricky because in website, you are going to give the title of page, find the authors, and also you have to address the access date plus the full hyperlink. So how referencing styles look like? I think you all are familiar with reference lists, but in bachelor degree study, different universities will require different styles of reference lists. In UK university, they usually use Harvard style. Harvard style is nothing to do with Harvard University, but they have along UK or Australian universities, usually they use similar style. So how does it look like? Take, for example, journal articles that you get from POCUS. This is the format that they use. They start out with the last name of the author, last name, first name, initial, and then the second author, and then second author's initial. Usually, we start English name with the last name first. Although formal writing, you use last name last. But when list on the reference list, you usually have the last name first. So that's why they have a comma. On your Hong Kong ID, you also see the last name. If you put the last name in front, you will get a comma. And then the year of publication, the title of the document, the name of the publication journal, volume, issue, and then the pages inside that volume and issue. So these are all the informations that give you details that you can identify the same article, no matter in printed versions of the article or in library database, online channels. So these are the informations that allow others, the readers, to identify what actually are you reporting. For books, it's simpler. You just have the name of the author, the year of publication, title of the book, and location of the publisher. Usually is the city or the area of the publisher that set up their manufacturing or business. Edited books is getting more and more common. What that means is usually it's a book, but inside the book is actually research articles by different authors. So here, the author's name, year of publication 1994, the title of the article. In means inside the edited books of Rust and Oliver. EDS is the keywords for edited books. And then year of publication of that book. In the book's name is Service Quality New Directions in Theory and Practice. The page number of this particular article inside that book, publisher of that edited books, and the publisher's name. Magazine, newspapers take on this format. Author's name, year, title of the article, the publication name or newspaper, volumes and issues, or sometimes in newspaper and magazine, it will be the publication date and the page number. What's special is the online resources. When you use website in your research project as a reference, you need to give information on reference list too. Again, the same, the author, year, the title of the page, usually on top of the web page. Author's name, on the other hand, might be in the bottom of the page, and the year also in the bottom of the page sometimes. So different websites have different notation. So what's special is you see a bracket here, online. Bracket online means it is an online format. Most of the time it's web. And available at the keywords. Available at where you give the hyperlink. So if you have the hyperlink very long, it will be very long. The purpose is this hyperlink should be the link to the exact documents that you are talking about. So you have to copy the hyperlink from your browser and put it here. And the access date, the date you read that particular web page. Why? Because many web pages are changing day by day. By saying that I read this web page on certain day, but the readers, when they read on the other day, it might be updated. It's not your obligation or responsibility. It's because the website changed. So this is the access date is the keywords to protect you. So proper Harvard referencing style actually composed of two parts: the in-text citation and the reference list. You're all familiar with reference lists and should have no problem in making your reference list. Usually reference list is at the end of the paper. In-text citation is along your text writing. So whenever you write and tell us that you are using one of the reference on your reference list in making your claim or writing. So in-text citation together with reference list will be important elements of a proper Harvard referencing style. So here are examples of in-text citation. This is one sentence inside your project writing or academic writing. At the end of the sentence, you quote Duran, which is author's name, and the year of publication. What that means is this sentence actually is based on the idea of this article on your reference list. What article? So on your reference list, you will see one of the author is Duran. And in 2001, he has an article. So you look at the reference list and you know this sentence is based on that particular reference. This In-text citation actually have a second common format. Sometimes you want to have the author's name to start out as a subject of your sentence. So you will have the author's name jump out of the parentheses, use the author as the subject of the sentence, and say something. So inside the in-text citation, you just get the year. So Duran 2001, again, is the same in-text citation as this one. There are some special cases. Sometimes, especially newspapers, they have no names. So whenever you have no names, you have anonymous. Anonymous means you don't know. And then your publications and this remaining will be following the same format. Web page, a lot of time will also have anonymous. You don't know what who is writing that particular article or who owns that article. But usually it happens on personal website. For business news, you always use the publication's name as the author or owner of that particular article. If you have more than one anonymous article in the same year, you would add on A, B to separate the reference information so that the readers will know actually which article you are referring to. If you have more than two articles, say 3 articles without authors in 2009, then your in-text citation will use anonymous 2009A, 2000B, and 2000C. If you have more than 2 authors, which is very common for academic research articles, a lot of time you have multiple authors, and if each time you use multiple authors, list out all the authors' names, it could be cumbersome. The longest articles in the world actually has 100 authors. So if you make reference to that article with 100 authors, you type 100 author's name, it would be a headache. So there is a short form in Latin, ETAL dot. This is a short form that simply lists the first author and the first author together with somebody. Who are the somebody? You look on the reference list. The reference list will have the full set of authors' names. There are also 2 special formats for in-text citation. Sometimes in-text citation will use cited in. Cited in means you don't have in your possessions this article, but you read this article, this reference, based on this reference. That means on hand, you only have a soft copy or hard copy of this Barbacus and Bohler 1992, but you don't have this Sedmore until 1988. But you quote it because this is a very famous article, although our library did not have it. So you want to use it, and you use the keywords cited in. And other is quotation. Sometimes if you need a direct copy, note, direct copy is a plagiarism. But if you have the in-text citation quoted and quoted the copying content, then no problem with plagiarism if it is not excessive. So quote, and then your regular citation, and you have to give the page number that you copy. This is for direct quotation only. So references appear at the end of the writing, your project report or coursework. Always use Harvard referencing style, and always sort the articles by author's name. This is very important because the purpose of the reference list and the in-text citations is for the others to read and find what kind of reference you are referring to. If it's unsorted, if it is not sorted, it will be difficult for the other to find the reference that you are referring to. So the following are some examples. A common way of doing the Harvard referencing in the project is inside the text, inside the writing, you have this paragraph, for example. Those colored are the citation, in-text citation. Each of these in-text citation will refer to one entry on your reference list appearing at the end of your project report. So in this, I'm not in class, usually face-to-face class, I use it as an example or exercise, but here I'm showing you. If you have writing in text, this paragraph, the problem is no reference list, no in-text citation. In the second example here below, you have the citation, but no reference list. Both cases are not acceptable in bachelor degree level submission. You could fail your project by doing this two practice in your final project. And if you do it in coursework, you will get 10 to 20 marks deducted. So it's important for you to fit in the requirement of Harvard referencing style. Here, you have no in-text citation, but you have the reference list. The last one is a little tricky. Once in a while, we find students doing that. You have the citation, but the citations are not found on the reference list. On the other hand, you have a very long reference list, but those references are never used inside in-text. So this is dishonesty. You're not reporting as accurate as possible, and you're making a major mistake by providing a reference list that is